right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed our new Remo floor plan. This is the first time we've used it. The floor plan chat. I went around, I saw some folks I haven't seen in ages, getting to know some folks that I haven't seen in ages. And so my day has been made to connect awesome people together. So thanks for attending to today's event. If this is your first time using Remo, I hope you have a great time, but I understand that it's new technology, and that's why we're trying to utilize this platform more, because every time I use it, I get 5 or 6 emails. It's like, that was the best thing I've ever done. So look for more of this. And so just so you know, just to kind of help you with the navigation, you were just in floor plan mode and you were at the poolside compound, but we've got conference centers, we've got all kinds of configurations that we can use. And the best way to utilize this platform is you come in just like you would come into a live event, you survey the room, you see somebody you know, you get to talk to somebody that you don't know, you jump around from table to table, or in the case of the poolside, the different seating arrangements. And then the presentation begins, and that's what we're doing now. So now we're in presentation mode, and in presentation mode, you can use the general chat there that you see. You should be able to see this at the bottom of your screen. And I see some folks that Wendy says, how do we save our table chats? I believe I can download all of those for you. But at least on my screen, there's a little download button to export the chat. So click around on that. If you click on the participants link, you can see all the different people that are here and registered. And this is much better than Zoom for marketers and networkers, because you see you can click on people's profiles, go to their LinkedIn page, chat with them, and you can see that you can ask questions, which we're going to get to here shortly. So I'm going to try not to babble as much, but those in the audience know I like to talk a lot, especially when we're talking about things that are creative like marketing. But just to give you a little bit of background, we haven't done a marketing masterminds discussion in over a year. When the pandemic hit and we started doing these online discussions, we would literally do one of these marketing masterminds discussions on a monthly basis. And I received a few emails in the last couple of months asking me why we did that, and just got distracted with all the other discussions we host. And so I figured these marketing masterminds are a great opportunity to connect people, like-minded people together. We can share ideas and challenges. And then using the Remo platform, you can connect with other folks that are in the same boat as you. And that's where the good ideas incubate. Okay. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to give you a brief presentation that sort of outlines a time-tested structure for marketing to older adults, family members, and referral sources. And this can be the jumping off point, and has always been the jumping off point for great ideas and discussions around this topic of marketing to older adults. So I'm going to share my screen, and I am surprised that she's in the audience, but we have an audience member who's made a comment on LinkedIn yesterday when I was promoting this discussion. And I wanted to start off with her comments, because these are her comments as a consumer. And I'm going to dive into some things a little bit in detail. But for those of you who are in the audience that are marketing to older adults, their families, and referral sources, I thought the best way that we could jump off with a thought-provoking discussion is, let's hear a real life story from a real consumer on what was frustrating in working with in our segment. And so what she says is, As somebody who's been on the receiving end of senior living marketing, I have two wishes. Be more transparent about services and cost. What are providers hiding when they don't list services they provide and the costs of those? I've done lots of searches in off hours when people are not available to talk. And why do I have to talk to a person and provide my contact information to get information about what providers offer? So that's something to just stick in the back of your mind. This is a real life consumer. The second thing, I don't know if there's anything we can do about it, but I think it's a valid point from a consumer. It's get rid of those aggregators who make me fill out what I need and then triage me to a local provider. If providers were more transparent, this would not be necessary. And I always wonder what's going on behind the scenes. Am I really getting the best advice from a free service that cares, or am I being directed to whichever provider paid to get their call? So I wanted to throw that out first to let you think about it, because I think that those two consumer questions and requests could make a great poolside chat for us after I'm done going through a few items that I want you all to be thinking about. Okay, so some of you in the audience I know have heard me give this presentation or a similar presentation. So forgive me if this is repetitive, but I've found it can never be shared too much when we're really brainstorming as a group about marketing topics. So the first thing that I want everybody to think about is when it comes to senior living, the way I see the world is there are three different buckets, okay? There's the housing bucket that has everything from apartments and condos that don't have any kind of senior living label on it to nursing homes and hospice communities. And so in the housing bucket, we've got the life plan communities, independent, assisted, memory care, and all shapes and sizes. The next bucket is the aging in place bucket. Now, this is a little more complicated bucket. Obviously, home care providers are in this bucket, transportation services, universal design and remodeling, equipment companies are in this bucket. Any sort of service that could help somebody age in place better can be in the aging in place bucket. Now, the aging in place bucket, some of you are in all three buckets in one way, shape, or form, but the resources bucket is sort of the catch-all bucket, okay? So an aging life care manager and an elder law attorney, I place them in the resources bucket. Now, does an aging life care manager help with housing and aging in place? Absolutely. And so does an elder law attorney. But they're resources that help people make decisions, and I feel they're best classified in that separate bucket there. Okay, so that's sort of to give us all an equal place of where we are. Now, I want to talk about something that's very important, okay? And that is ageism, okay? Because ageism is the biggest challenge that stands in the way of our effective marketing. Now, I will tell you, there are some amazing services and amazing communities that are in this book, okay? And sitting poolside today, okay? And I got news for you, and this is not to disparage anybody's organization. Nobody wants any of the stuff that we're selling and marketing. No, you know, does somebody say, "Oh man, I can't wait till the day comes that I can move to assisted living"? We hear people say tongue in cheek, "Oh wow, I'd love to live here," and you need to follow up and ask them, "Really? Well, you want to move in tomorrow?" What are they going to say? "I'm not ready yet." What is not ready yet? What does not ready yet mean? And we'll dive into that a little bit. But one of the reasons that I'm sharing this screen, I love these series of photographs because they remind me, and we all need to be reminded, that just because somebody is old doesn't mean they're different. okay? A different person than who they were. And we also need to know, and I used incorrect ageist terminology, is who they were. We have to be careful about how we describe things. Is that this gentleman who's looking in the mirror is the same person that he was when he was 20. Just because he's 60, 70, 80 doesn't make him any different. And we need to respect that, and we need to honor that, and we need to learn as much as we can about the people that we are serving, and remember that these are very important people. Okay, but I love that series of photographs. Okay, now I got two other images that I want to share before I dive into this. My little soapbox on marketing here, and this is an ad campaign from the UK. This was not in the United States, and it's for Dove. This one says wrinkled wonderful, and this one says gray gorgeous. And whenever I give presentations and I use this, I always say, look at these two ladies here, wrinkled wonderful and gray gorgeous. Don't they know that doesn't she know she can color her hair a million different colors to hide those signs of aging? And she could get plastic surgery or do something like that to get rid of those wrinkles. So, gray hair, wrinkles, there's no way these ladies are beautiful, right? Well, unanimously, the audience is always like, no, they're beautiful. They're beautiful. And then I say, well, what makes the two of these ladies beautiful? And what unanimously usually comes out of the audience is their smile. Okay. And so if you learn nothing from me today, number one, there's no such anti-aging means you're dead. If you're anti-aging, you're dead. Okay. Okay. There's no secret to looking younger. You can't look younger, but how do you look beautiful? How do you look, if somebody says they want to look younger, my response is you just got to smile more. Okay. Now, how do we get a smile on our face? It's having purpose in life. Okay. And what we don't know about these two ladies is she may have just recently learned she has a disability or cancer or something, challenging like that many of our clients have. And we don't know the backstory. Maintaining purpose is not necessarily an easy thing as we move through life. And when we move into this stage of life that we call elderhood, it can be challenging to maintain purpose. Okay. So now the secret to helping people maintain purpose are the things in these three buckets, right? Hey, all you got to do is move into my senior living community and we're going to put a smile on your face. All you got to do is hire my home care agency, and life is going to be great. And hey, if you get an aging life care manager to manage things, that's going to be the ticket. There is some truth to that, but I want to back up real quick. Okay. And I want to share with you this image of a three-legged stool. Some of you in the audience remember, I'm 56 now. When I was 43, I moved in and I lived in 5 different senior living communities and lived as a resident. And one of the things I came out of that was with this stool, because my fellow residents were all there because one or all 3 of these stool legs were weak. And so you notice on the top of the stool, it has nothing to do about senior living or aging or services or what have you. What it says is we need to live a purposeful life no matter what our age or ability. Okay. And that's what I want us to all focus on when we're thinking about our marketing strategies and campaigns. Now, the 3 legs of the stool: getting around, accessible environments, neighborhood connections. Everybody in this in who's poolside today has a solution to help people maintain a purposeful life and make sure that all three legs of those stools are as strong as they possibly can be. And now we're going to talk about how we let the world know about that. And again, I'm excited to get to brainstorming, but this is the platform that I've found is best for brainstorming. Okay, is reminding people of this platform enables you to create a marketing strategy that gets results. And I'm going to wrap this up in 5 minutes so we can go back to poolside, okay, and or answer questions. Okay, so I subscribe to two things here: low-hanging fruit and birds of a feather flock together. Okay, and I'm going to remind you of what those are about here in a moment. So got three more buckets for you. Okay, the first bucket is, who are your clients? And I mean, you've really got to learn who your clients are and who your referral sources are and who refers to you. And you really want to try to get granular in terms of what their profile is. What are their hobbies, interests, activities? What services do you provide to them? How are you helpful? The more information you've got, the better. Now, why do you need to know who these folks are? Because birds of a feather flock together. To grow our businesses, all we've got to do is go out and get 3 more customers exactly like the customers that you currently have. Now, you might sort of say, well, okay, yeah, my customers, they needed to move to an assisted living, so I just got to go find 3 more people that need assisted living. No, your customers go to churches. Your customers have professions. Your customers have hobbies. Your customers have interests. If you go to the places that they're at, you can find more people just like them. Okay. How many of you have got a customer that went to a specific church, and then through the dialogue with their friends at the church, they gave you a referral and you got another customer? And that is what I refer to as the low-hanging fruit. So know who your customers are, know who your referral sources are, and then go to the places and network with in those places and get more just like them. And that's your low-hanging fruit. So that describes those slides there. So now let me go through these 3 buckets real quick. Your clients, it's a no-brainer, but the best thing that I ever did where I started using the system was I helped an assisted living that was at 50% occupancy grow their business. What we ended up doing was we went door to door and we learned everything we could about their residents, and then we took all that information and we went out and we created a marketing campaigns to go out and get more people just like them. But the real secret sauce here was that when an inquiry called in and they said, hey, I might be interested in your assisted living for my mom, they were able to say, tell us a little bit about your mom. And they were able to tell stories about residents that live there that were just like their mom. And one of the best days of my life after doing this exercise with this community was they called me up and they said, we got a contract sight unseen. The individual was excited to move to our community because she was a retired school teacher and there was other retired school teachers living there. And she went to a specific church and they just mentioned one name that she knew of a member of that church who was living there. And she said, no problem, just send over the contract. I'm moving in next week. Okay, now referral sources are the same exact thing. And I can't tell you how many people that I meet with when I do analysis that don't really have an understanding of who their referral sources are so that they can go gather more. And so the more detail, the more analysis that you can really quantify on who you get legitimate referrals from is very important. If you get a referral from a nursing home social worker, well, what are we going to do? We're going to go back to birds of a feather. we're going to get the name of every nursing home social worker in your county because they have the capacity to give you another referral. And when we get a new referral, that is, it's free pizza day for the whole staff. Okay. I had a home care agency do an analysis of this many years ago, and they discovered that one aging life care manager gave them over $900,000 of business in a 6-year period. And they wondered why their sales were going down, which is why they called me. It's because the aging life care manager retired. Okay. All right. And then last but not least is who you refer to. So if you refer to somebody, let's say that you're a home care provider and you work with a durable medical company and you give them referrals. These are opportunities. This is like backing a Brinks truck up to somebody's organization. These are opportunities to get something in return. And notice that I don't say to get referrals in return, because I rarely run into somebody that does a tit for tat referral relationship. Okay. You might refer to the home durable medical equipment company, but they may not have the capacity to refer back to you with clients. They may, but if they don't, and if they can't, you got to have a wish list. What are some things that they could be helpful with? Well, they might be helpful at introducing you to nursing home social workers who you get referrals from. Okay. All right. Enough babbling on that. Let's see. I think this is my last slide, and then I'm going to take some Q&A, and then we'll go back poolside and let you guys brainstorm on some of this stuff. But the last thing I just want to remind everybody of is that in general, when it comes to aging related products and services, people are a lot of times not ready yet. The mind of the consumer is very complicated when it comes to aging related products and services. Okay. And so just a reminder of some of the decision-making styles that are out there. Now, we got a lot of planners. Okay. Those in the audience that work for life plan communities, continuing care communities, you get the planners, and usually people are planners. If they weren't a planner before, like an engineer or somebody like that, they usually become planners in this space because they went through a challenging time caring for a loved one, and they don't want to be a burden on the people around them. Also, the hottest topic on our discussion are solo agers. Solo agers are big planners because they realize they don't have a safety net. They don't have the adult daughter that's going to take care, that they think is going to take care of them. Most, as we know, most adult daughters don't take care of mom and dad. Okay. And I say that tongue in cheek. Okay. But so the planners are out there. We all wish everybody was a planner, but unfortunately they're a minority. So then what we've got are the procrastinators, and we break those into two categories: the reluctant consenters and the wake-up call responders. So reluctant consenters, they're kind of pushed into making a change because they see the world around them, and it's they're beginning to put two and two together that they better do something. Okay. The wake-up call responders, those are people that they're near a crisis. They didn't quite get there, but they get this wake-up call and they're like, okay, I got to get my affairs in order, or mom's affairs in order. And the last one, which is probably the biggest group, it's the scrambler. Yep. When do most decisions that I find take place? I was heading to go meet my friend for pickleball and Starbucks. I tripped and fell, and I'm in the hospital. Now I'm in the hospital. The doctor tells me, going to have to go to a nursing home for rehab. Oh, I remember grandma was in a nursing home. I'm never going there. Told my kids I'm not going to a nursing home. Can I get rehab at home? Well, yeah, you can. How is your home equipped to handle good rehab? Well, everything's on the third floor. Okay, well, I got to scramble and get my home remodeled in the next half hour before I get home. Kind of a wacky example there, but I like working in extremes. So, okay, so I am done with my slide deck. Let me glance at chat here real quick, and see if there's anything that anybody threw into chat or Q&A that I need to pay attention to. And otherwise, what I'm going to say is that we will go back to the pool deck, and I'd love for you guys to just network and brainstorm with each other, make some connections, and the and think about some of the things that I've said. Let's see. I'm ripping through here. If you've got a question, if you want to say anything related on what I have brought up today, you can raise your virtual hand and I can call on you. You can type it into chat. You can type it into Q&A. Man, I just love who is in the audience here. It's such a great group. And I really hope you all get connected with each other. Okay. All right. I don't see any questions. So that either means that what I shared was helpful, or you guys are ready to just go back to the pool deck. Okay. So I'm going to make a last call for any questions, comments, and that you want me to address. And then if I don't see anything here in chat that you want me to share, I will let you know. Okay. Wendy Kuhn says, I can't find the download icon for general chat. I'm going to download that and I'm going to share that with everybody. Oh, I got a hand raised. Let's see. Joe has his hand raised. So here, Joe, open up your mic and let you throw out a question or a comment.
There's the mic.
Hey, Joe.
You hear me all right?
Yep.
And Steve, I'd like to give you just a slightly different perspective on your comment about that we are the same as we were when we were 20 years old. We're the same.
I love it. Thank you, Joe. Okay.
We're not. We are products of our environment and our experience. At 20, I could drop something on the floor, jump down, pick it up, and keep on running. I can't do that anymore. And I have a lot more empathy and consideration for the folks that are in the community that I am now part of, which is the senior community. We have some limitations, but we have the benefit of our experiences and the understanding of what we are going through and what we're about to go through. When we see people who are in denial, we can help them look behind the curtain.
Yep, I love it. And again, I'm not the greatest at articulating things, and you've added some elements to this, but I guess my main thing, and I started using those images when I was teaching undergrad students about aging studies. One of the things what I was trying to sort of say in sharing those images that you've added on to is that yes, we are older adults, but our identity should not be that, oh, look at that old guy over there. He wouldn't be interested in talking about tennis. There's no way he could play tennis. Meanwhile, that guy may have been a tennis pro at some point in his life, but because a person may view that person as simply a senior citizen and not this culmination of life experience, it can sometimes be challenging.
Yeah, what you're saying is don't pigeonhole somebody.
Yeah, that's my point there. And one thing that I've seen, and this is not to disparage any advertising and marketing agency, but every now and then we will see advertising and marketing that is clearly designed by a young person, because they've got this sort of blind spot in how they're trying to communicate to the audience that their boss said that we need to create a campaign for older adults. And so that's why I always like to lead into marketing talks with those images.
Okay, so you're criticizing, and I think you're correctly criticizing folks that stereotype.
That's it. Dead on. That's my point there.
Okay.
All right, Joe, I got 2 more people raising their hands, so I am gonna bring up Rahimi and Linda, and let's hear what they have to say. And then let's see. While I'm waiting for them to come up, Rahima says, "What is the best way to connect with social workers and discharge planners?" And then Marjorie says, "I have a question about your housing bucket." Okay, these are great. Okay, let's see. Rahima, I am going to, if you don't come on stage, I'm gonna, Rahima.
I'm here.
Yeah. Oh, great. Okay, so you were asking, and I'm not sure if your question is still how to reach out and connect to hospital discharge planners. Is that what you wanted to ask?
That's a side question. However, I have something to add in.
Okay.
I started my company, home care agency, about 1.5 years ago. And during that time, what I have done is learn about the business and marketing and reading a lot of books from the library, because I thought that was the best way to learn. However, one thing I have learned throughout the process is to go physically to, for example, assisted living and group home and senior apartments. While I was going to these locations, and I asked to speak directly to the manager in charge, and I would leave my flyers at the front desk, and I would try to participate in some events that they have, to get, for them to know me a little bit more. However, I have not gotten any calls throughout the time frame. And one thing I came to learn, that big company already took over these facilities. So it leaves us little people, very small room to engage or to be in there. It's like, this is my house, please stay away. So now I'm trying to kind of brainstorm other ways. And one of the things I am trying right now, I've called one of the golf centers and I talked to the manager there, and I'm pretending I know how to play golf. And he asked me, "Do you know how to play golf?" In my mind, yes, because I've watched Tiger Woods. Just to engage, to be put into the team with other seniors, and make myself lose so I can engage and pass out flyers.
Well, and that I applaud your creativity, and you're persistent, because it's the backbone of every entrepreneur out there. I love your approach. You're not giving up. You're keeping going. You're getting creative. A couple of things. Yes, you are going to run into, every single person in the audience is going to run into potential referral sources that you feel like you've hit a roadblock, because it's like, oh, they're working with this company, or they're only working with big companies, or what have you. And it's sort of, I remind folks is that one thing that you discovered there is that is a referral source that is referring to a business like yours, maybe a bigger business, but it's still a business like yours. And don't give up, because one Friday afternoon, that organization is not going to be able to supply a caregiver. And if you have tried to develop a relationship, that might be you're in the door. Okay. And that's how relationships occur. So this is just a reminder. I applaud what you're doing with the golf. Be careful, because sometimes if you get too aggressive in marketing, in a non-marketing
Yes.
setting, it can backfire. But I'm going to share with everybody a great referral source that's out there that's kind of similar to the playing golf, because we know some older adults play golf, and that is grocery stores. Everybody goes to grocery stores. Guess who they talk to at the grocery store? The grocery store checkout clerk. The grocery store checkout clerk is sort of a therapist, a care, in many ways. They engage with the customers. And with an independent living community, we did an amazing grocery store cashier appreciation day at their senior living community. And that ended up resulting in some excellent referrals, because when Mrs. Smith was checking out, Cindy started talking about how wonderful the food is right down the block at Shady Acres, and it worked out. So, Rahima, I want to get to Linda, but I want to address your other question that you added in the Q&A on how do you get referrals from hospital case managers. And this is a challenge for all of us, but I'm going to give you a tip that a hospital case manager gave to me, and it's worked for dozens and dozens of other people. She said, "You guys are coming into the hospital and you're bringing me cookies and bagels. Do I really look like I need cookies and bagels? I'm going to tell you something that I do need. And what I do need is help getting this pile of cases off my desk." So let's say that you're a home care agency and your client has a fall in the home and they need to go to the hospital for some reason, that is your marketing Trojan horse. If that occurs, this is your opportunity to pick up the phone and say, "Mrs. Smith is the client of our home care agency. She just had a fall. She's in the hospital. Can I be connected to her case manager?" Now you get connected to the case manager. You just made that case manager's day. "Hi, just wanted to let you know, Mrs. Smith is our client. We got her covered for home care. So once she's discharged, she's okay back home." And so this case manager said, "When you help me with something like that, now I am open and receptive to your marketing message. I actually want to help you because you helped me. So now you can kind of give me your marketing thing." So think about that, not just in hospitals, doctor's appointments, anywhere your clients are going. These are Trojan horses and doors that you can open. Okay, Linda, sounds like you're getting some phone calls there. Okay, what you had a question?
Well, what I want to say is two parts, really. I just moved to Virginia about 3 years ago. During the pandemic, I couldn't start my business again. I did a neighbor who is probably going to have to move to a facility. But the biggest thing I found when I was doing this back in New Jersey was that the fact that they don't want to move, it's because they feel comfort in their home. And they would trust me because I had just gone through this with my mother, and I understood exactly where they were coming from. And I never pushed them to do anything. I would just conversation start with, "What's more important to you in this house? What would you like to take with you?" They want to take, even the furniture may not be good, certain things that they take with them. And what I would do is I would design their room or apartment or whatever around what they already had, and then help them decide on getting things, because I'm a designer. New furniture, new window treatments, like that. So they feel comfortable, feel like they were being shown their home, number one. But the other thing with an independent living facility, and I got the community to donate items, and we put together bags for them, all kinds of little goodies and snacks and things like that. We delivered it to the facility. I haven't referrals yet, but that you can't get it over. But we did something like that, and it was really good, and they really appreciated it because they couldn't go anywhere, they couldn't do anything, but we delivered something to them specifically.
I love it, Linda. And here's the thing is that you were doing something, you were doing the right thing. You and the members of your neighborhood were doing the right thing. And it's helping make connections. It's helping build trust with potential referral sources that's there. But even if you don't get a referral, you can sleep better at night. Now, I've rarely seen efforts like that not result in a referral. but it takes patience and time. Now,
It does.
I want to share something with you, and I'm not being critical of you, but this is more brainstorming. But it's the language of marketing and outreach. Something that you said, and you probably didn't even realize it. You said independent living facility, and then you said members of my community put this together.
You're right.
So one thing, folks, is try to eliminate institutional language when talking about these settings, because these are homes and
And I try
neighborhoods.
to do that, but I just
No. And it's so ingrained in our culture that it takes tremendous effort. And the only reason that I corrected you is that the only way that I ever got to eliminate certain things in my lexicon was somebody bringing it to my attention. So I'm not being critical there.
no, you're not being critical, and I appreciate that.
Well, okay, folks, I can't believe it's 12:51. The main reason that we're here on using this platform is to network and connect with each other. So I'm going to go back to the pool. I'm going to leave the pool open until 1:30. So if you meet and talk to somebody who you find interesting, hang out and exchange info. I'm going to save this recording. I'm going to save this chat, and I'm going to send everybody a link this afternoon so that you can reconnect and what have you. I want to thank everybody for being here. I want you all to email me with your ideas on marketing masterminds and ways that we can bring this dialogue together in a meaningful way to you. And so we're going back to the floor plan, and we will see you all later. Enjoy your poolside chats.